So here we have Arbutus menziesii, commonly known as Pacific madrone, in the Ericaceae family. The scientific name, Arbutus, means strawberry tree in Latin, and that's probably in part because of the bright red fruits, even though it's not at all related to strawberries. Even the common name madrone is Spanish for strawberry tree, and that came from a name given it by Father Juan Crespi on an expedition to Monterey Bay. The species name menziesii comes from Archibald Menzies, who was a Scottish botanist, surgeon, and naturalist on Captain Vancouver's voyage of discovery back in 1790. Arbutus menziesii is native to western coastal areas of North America and ranges from British Columbia down into California. It's typically found on dry, sunny, rocky sites with coarse, textured soils from low to mid-elevation, and is often found in association with Pseudotsuga menziesii, or Douglas fir, or Quercus garryana, or Garry oak. In terms of the overall form of Arbutus menziesii, it's typically a small to medium-sized tree that grows up to about 30 meters or almost 100 feet tall and about 6 feet in diameter. The leaves of Arbutus menziesii are simple and alternate. They are typically oblong to oval and about 3 to 5 inches in length. They're fairly tough and leathery and are typically dark green above and then paler below. The margins can be entire or serrate, and in wet winters, this tree is very susceptible to fungal infections, which often will cause brown or black leaf discoloration on your Arbutus menziesii. It's also not that uncommon to find this somewhat reddish color within the veins of your Arbutus menziesii, and that can be a really important characteristic when trying to distinguish just the leaves from something like your rhododendron macrophyllum. So if you had just a leaf sample, that coloration is something you would never see on a rhododendron. So the flowers of Arbutus menziesii are urn-shaped and white, and the fruits are an orange-red berry-like drupe with pebbly skin. Another key characteristic of Arbutus menziesii is this red exfoliating bark. So the bark is reddish-brown to orange-brown and exfoliates in patches or strips as it matures. So this is a very special tree both ecologically and culturally. So in a Salish story told by the late Chief Philip Paul, during the time of the Great Flood, an Arbutus menziesii high up on Mount Newton was the tree to which the survivors of that flood actually anchored their canoe. And to this day, certain cultures will not burn the species due to its sacred value. The wood of Arbutus menziesii is hard and durable, but it's also fairly prone to warping and chipping as it dries. So it's sometimes used to make charcoal. The hummingbirds love the flowers of Arbutus menziesii. Ecologically, this is a drought-tolerant, fast-growing, and fire-adapted species. However, it's currently declining across much of its range, and that's due to 3 different factors. So one of those factors is fire suppression. As I mentioned, this tree is very well adapted to fire, and typically when those fires come through, they will reduce the competing vegetation, such as Pseudotsuga menziesii or Douglas fir. And then some of the mature trees may be able to survive. They also regenerate very rapidly and are able to produce a lot of seeds. Another cause for decline of Arbutus menziesii is habitat loss. So as lands that formerly supported Arbutus menziesii are transformed for other uses. And then finally, disease. So Phytophthora ramorum, or sudden oak death, is a type of waterborne pathogen that affects the Arbutus menziesii. It also affects species in the Fungal family, or the oaks, as well as the Ericaceae family. So Arbutus, even Vaccinium, another genus, are often affected by this Phytophthora ramorum.